Brussels saw a rare scene of chaos as farmers from across Europe drove their tractors into the heart of the Belgian capital. The protests erupted as European Union leaders gathered for a crucial summit where the long-delayed Mercosur trade deal was hanging in the balance. More than 150 tractors progged central Brussels, bringing traffic to a standstill. Farmer lobby group Copa Cogeca said up to 10,000 protesters were expected in the European quarter, making it one of the largest farmer mobilizations in the city in recent years. At the center of the anger is the Mercosur trade agreement between the European Union and South American countries, including Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Farmers fear the deal will open EU markets to cheaper agricultural imports. While much of the protest was peaceful, violence erupted outside the European Parliament. Farmers lit bonfires using tires and hay, hurled potatoes and eggs at police, and set off fireworks and firecrackers. Thick black smoke filled nearby streets. Police responded with tear gas and water cannons. Authorities sealed off roads, closed tunnels, and set up security cordons around the European quarters. Acts of vandalism were also carried out, including smashing windows at the European Parliament building. Farmers, especially in France and Belgium, fear the deal will undercut them with cheaper imports of beef, sugar, rice, honey, and soya beans. They argue South American producers face looser rules, including on pesticides banned in the European Union. The protests come as EU member states remain deeply divided. France and Italy are leading opposition to the deal, with support from Poland, Belgium, Austria, and Ireland. Together, they may have enough votes in the European Council to delay or block the pact. Supporters like Germany and Spain argue the deal would strengthen Europe's global trade position and counter China's influence. The agreement, negotiated over 25 years, would create the world's largest free trade area, covering 780 million people and a quarter of global GDP.
We have to get rid of our over-dependencies. This is only possible through a network of free trade agreement, and therefore Mercosur plays a central role in our trade agreements. It is potentially a market of 700 million consumers, like-minded countries that want free trade together in Mercosur. So it is of enormous importance that we get the green light for Mercosur and that we can complete the signatures for Mercosur.
As farmers filled the streets, EU leaders inside the summit halls were also focused on a separate high-stakes vote on using nearly $200 million in frozen Russian assets to support Ukraine. For Brussels, it became a day of pressure both inside and outside its corridors of power.
We have to find a solution today. The President of the Council said, and I support him in that, we will not leave the European Council without a solution for the funding for Ukraine for the next 2 years. And the two options, one of them then has to be agreed in the European Council.
In my view, that is indeed the only option. We are basically faced with the choice of using European debt or Russian assets for Ukraine, and my opinion is clear. We must use the Russian assets. Incidentally, it has been frozen for a week now, which means that Russia can no longer access these assets anywhere, so we should use them as the Commission has proposed, namely with a corresponding loan. This will enable us to support Ukraine for the next 2 years if necessary.
We now need to give visibility to Ukrainians to finance their war efforts. This is the decision we must make. Several options have been put on the table by the European Commission. Important discussions have been initiated to use these frozen Russian assets. I want to say here that we must bring everyone together. We will find a position that will allow us to decide. This is, for me, the goal of this Council. We must give visibility to Ukraine. We must enable the continuation of the resistance effort. We must be there in support to build a just and lasting peace.